there's a whole world out there of people that need you to serve them. You are now investing your time and your energy, and you are stepping up to be that person and that woman who makes investments like this, who takes her business seriously, who's willing to go all in, who is driven, who is ambitious, who is going to make shit happen no matter what.
This is the $1 Million Business Podcast. Here's your host, Jenna Faith.
Hello, and welcome to the $1 Million Business Podcast for entrepreneurs who want to create wealth and freedom with their business. If you are looking for the mindset and strategy to get seen, known, and paid online, you are in the right place. I am your host, Jenna Faith, success and mindset strategist for entrepreneurs who want to start a movement, leave a legacy, and build a 7-figure business and brand. I am super excited to dive into today's episode because this is really how I live my life, how I operate in my business, and what really has truly led to my success. And that is being able to make quick decisions, to get myself out of limbo, to not spend so much time thinking one way or the other, and to just make a decision and or take action. The quicker that you're able to do this, the more successful you will be, because you won't be kind of hanging around wondering, waiting, maybe this, maybe that. That's just a funky energy and a funky place to be. We want to be confident. We want to be strong in our boundaries. We want to be strong in our decisions. And we want to be able to say either yes or no. So when I talk about making a decision, it does not mean that the decision is always yes. The decision could be no. The decision could be not now. It could be next time. But making that decision, getting these things off of your plate so that you don't have to think of them or think about them is super, super powerful. So I'm going to be talking about the nuances of how I make decisions in my business quickly, how it really is the key to my success, and my favorite motto of act now, think later. So let's go ahead and dive right into today's episode.
Act now, think later. And it's something that I have completely adopted in my business since pretty much day one. Well, day one from when I actually started making money. You know, the first year of business, I didn't make money. I didn't have clients. I really didn't have a business. But once I started making money, and once I really understood this concept of this online thing wasn't just a hobby, it wasn't just something that I was going to do, it was actually a legitimate business, a sustainable business, something that I was going to have for years and years to come. I have adopted this idea of act now, think later. I used to be somebody who heavily procrastinated on making decisions. Is that you? Are you somebody like that? Do you procrastinate when it comes to decisions, especially big decisions? And so here's the thing. When it comes to a big decision, whether it's, financial or moving or leaving a job or something like that, obviously it is smart for you to make all the considerations before you make a decision, but do you procrastinate? Meaning, you don't even think about it. You don't even put the chips on the table. You're just I'm just going to avoid this for right now because it's making me feel really uncomfortable. If you're somebody that procrastinates on making decisions, I'm going to be talking to you today about why you need to stop that. It's not good. It's not good for your energy. It's not good for your bottom line. It's not good for your wallet. It's not good for your business. And I'm going to talk about why. Why do I go by this concept of act now, think later? Why is making decisions fast a crucial part of being successful? Because number one, when you are procrastinating or when you are really just putting off something that actually needs to be addressed or a decision that needs to be made, you're creating this bad energy around yourself. You are creating stress for yourself. You are creating anxiety for yourself as you wait to make this decision, or, maybe it's having a conversation with someone, or, anything, really anything in your business or even your life. I mean, because granted, it's all tied in together, right? Life, business, whatever. So as you're holding on to this decision or the stress or the anxiety, you're just building up this funky energy around yourself. So I want you to make a decision. Make a decision. One of the things that I hear all the time, and I'm sure you've heard this before, is it a hell yes or a hell no? I can't remember exactly what book it was. Maybe somebody can tell me. But in one of the books that I read, I remember specifically screenshotting the book because it said, is it a hell yes or is it a hell no? There is no hell maybe. I really took that to heart because that is the reality. Because typically if something's a maybe or a I don't know, it's probably really a no. It's not really a yes. But on the other hand, I do feel like there's times where something may not initially seem like a hell yes, but if you do take everything into consideration, there may be other things that will come from that decision that are a hell yes. Or there may be other things that come from that decision that can actually lead to something really, really amazing. So for example, I'll give you a perfect example of something like this. I have been invited to do a mastermind, be a part of a mastermind retreat type thingy. And, on the surface, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to go. I don't know what it's really going to do for me, who's going to be there, so I kind of have like all these things in my mind. But the more that I thought about it, the more I really started to consider everything, I was like, the people that are going to be in that room are going to be incredible. I'm going to be making some amazing, amazing connections. I'm really going to be getting even closer and having an even deeper connection with the person who's facilitating the mastermind. So to me, even though initially on the outside, it may not seem like a hell yes, the results of what could happen and the opportunities that are going to happen for me as a result of me saying yes are a hell yes. With the hell yes, hell no thing, I kind of like, you still want to think about it, right? Like you still want to consider everything before you make a final decision if it's something that's really big or a financial decision, but do not hold on to it. So either make the decision yes or make the decision not yes or not now or maybe later, but make the decision and don't hold on to it, because as you hold on to it, you're just creating this funky energy within you. The next thing is really to just, what does your gut say? What is your initial reaction, your gut say? Is this in alignment with what you're doing? Is the decision that you're going to make in alignment with where you want to be, with who you are, with the standards that you set for yourself? Does it help with getting you to where you want to go? Or do you think it's going to be taking away from where you want to go? I'm not telling you to not consider things, but what I'm telling you is to make the decision fast. And the way that you can make the decision fast is to know exactly what you want. 9 times out of 10, the reason why you or anybody else doesn't get what the heck they want is because they're not clear on what they want. They have no idea what they want. So we might have a broad picture of like, yes, I want success, or I want to be happy, or I want to be free. But we have no idea. We don't actually have a clear vision of what that thing is. What does happy actually look like? What does success actually look like? What does freedom actually look like? Does that mean that you're quitting your job? Does it mean that you have X amount of dollars in the bank account? Does it mean that you are la-di-da, like hanging out all day in your hot tub? Like, what do those things actually mean? So get really, really clear first. This is the way that it's really going to help you make these fast decisions, is getting super clear on detailed on what you desire and what you want. So number 1, you can manifest it into your life. And number 2, when you have decisions to make, they're a heck of a lot easier to make because you already know, does this thing or does this opportunity or does this person serve that ultimate vision of what I want? Do you have a hard time making decisions? Do you have a hard time making a fast decision? Because I'm telling you, it is hurting you. It is hurting your business to continue to do this, right? Don't talk yourself out of stuff either. Like that's, for me, if I'm faced with a decision, if I harp on it and if I hold on to it and if I keep it with me for a while, I usually end up talking myself out of it, even if it could be something that is really beneficial for me. So I find that a lot of times if we don't make that decision right then and there, we don't make that decision, within a couple days, we end up talking ourselves out of it, or we end up talking ourselves into thinking, oh, it's too late. The time has passed, and we may really miss an amazing opportunity because we didn't make that decision. Don't go off and talk yourself out of it. This is actually something that I use a lot when I teach about, discovery calls and sales trainings and things like that with my clients. It's like, 9 times out of 10 people, when they go say they want to think about it or something like that, they're probably going to actually go talk themselves out of it, right? Because that's easier. It's easier for them to talk themselves out of it. So Tammy says, I don't think I have a hard time making decisions. They might not always happen fast, right? So like, how long are you actually holding on to making the decision? Because honestly, I feel like that's the same thing, right? Because if you're not making that decision quickly, then you're not really making the choice, right? Like you're putting it off. 6 of one thing, half dozen of the other, right? Saying, I can't make a decision, or it doesn't always happen fast. I want your decisions to happen fast because it's just going to release a lot of the pressure, the stress, and the anxiety that you may have by thinking about it, by overthinking about the decision and whether you should do something and whether you shouldn't. not making a decision can actually cause you to lose money. I actually had one of my friends talk about this. She may have done even a live stream about this, about how, she had an opportunity to join a couple of different programs. I don't remember if they were like mastermind programs or events or something like that. She didn't make the fast decision, right? She didn't make the fast decision, and she actually lost money because she ended up signing up after the early bird, or she missed some kind of bonuses or something. And it ended up being a really significant amount. I think it was somewhere around $6,000 or $7,000 that she lost because she didn't make that decision quickly, right? Even though she knew, I probably want this, she procrastinated. She didn't make the decision. She missed the early bird cutoff. And she ended up losing about $6,000 by doing that. Now, we don't always see it that way, but I want you to see it that way, right? So if she had made the decision right when she knew that she was going to sign up for it, she would have saved herself $6,000, right? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So not making a decision can actually cause you money. It can actually cause you stress. It can actually cause you anxiety by holding on to it. So if you adopt this idea of, I know what I want, I'm clear on what I want, when you have decisions to make, they're very easy to make. They're very easy to make. There's no question. And this also is a lesson in boundaries as well. It's a lesson in your standards and setting standards for yourself and be able to say yes and say no. So, for example, and I've talked about this a lot, but I get a lot of requests for me to join their summits or their giveaways or interviews and things like that. And what we've done is we've actually just put a policy in place where we don't do that, or we don't do that for, people that we don't know. We only do it for people that we've worked with. And even when we do it for people that we work with, we're not required to send a solo mailer, and at first it was really uncomfortable to say no to people. But by setting boundaries now, everything's pretty handled, very streamlined. Okay, no for this opportunity, no for this opportunity, no for this opportunity. Yes, this is a good one. Give up the good to go for the great. If you are constantly saying yes to just okay things, and probably you're saying yes because you feel bad, a lot of people do that, you're going to miss out on the opportunity for really great things as well. This all starts with knowing what you want. This all starts with having clarity around what you actually want and what's in alignment with what you want, because then any decision, any opportunity, anything that comes your way, you're able to then make the decision based on that. And it will be a quick decision. And then also consider, if this is a habit, consider, what am I actually thinking about? When I'm saying, oh, I'm going to think about it, or I'll let you know, or whatever, you say to yourself or to the other person, what are you actually thinking about, right? Are you actually thinking about it, or are you actually just talking yourself out of it? Or are you actually just trying to come up with an excuse why you can say no, because you have this resistance to saying yes or no? So I'll give you another example. I love giving actual real life examples because I feel like it makes it easier for you to understand the concept. So I have a decision to make about, how I'm going to work with this person. Now, I'm not putting off the decision, but I did not give him a decision right then and there, and I'll tell you why. For me, I am considering all of the aspects of what's involved so that I know how I want to work with him. So I've already made the decision that I will work with him. I am just now considering the basis of what that work will look like. So in essence, something like that, I am not procrastinating on the decision because I already know that I'm going to work with him. I just need to gather all my details and make a smart decision based on what my actual needs are and how we're actually going to work together. But he already knows that I want to work with him, right? Whereas if I was on a call with someone and they pitched me their product, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I'll get back to you tomorrow, or I'll let you know. That's a great one. Cause that could be any time. I can let you know next year, right? So, when you're doing something like that, typically you're saying, I don't know, or you're saying I'll get back to you because you don't actually want to work with that person, or that thing is actually not for you. However, on the flip side, just make sure that you're not talking yourself out of whatever it is if it's actually a really good opportunity. So I know I'm kind of flipping back and forth here, but I just want you guys to understand that act now, think later, you will figure it out for sure. One of the things too, for me that I do, and a lot of you can incorporate this if you're doing any kind of daily mindset practice or journaling or anything like that, I have made an affirmation to not make any decision based on money. Making a decision based on money is also it's not good. It's not good energy, right? So if I want something, I will figure out a way to make it happen. If I want to join a program, if I want to work with a coach, if I want to go to an event, if I want to fly first class somewhere, I make that decision and I will figure out how to make it happen. I will not say, I'm going to see how much the coach tickets are. And if they're cheaper, I'm going to go with that. No. I make the decision that I'm going to fly first class, and whatever the price is, that is what I'm going to pay. And if I don't have it, then I will figure it out. So don't make your decisions based on money, because if you're making your decisions based on money, you're always going to be stuck where you're at. You're never going to go to that next level. You're never going to act as if from that space that you want to be. If you continue to make decisions and act from the space of who you are right now. And that's something I always talk about with my mastermind clients as well. You have to make your decisions. You have to make everything based on who you want to be. That woman that you want to be, that 6-figure earner, that 7-figure earner, that successful business person, what decisions would she make? And make your decisions from that place rather than making the decision from where you are right now. Because if you make the decision from where you are right now, you're always going to be short-sighted. You're always going to just make a decision or make a choice based on what you actually think you can do right now, not from where you want to be or who you want to be. So know what the heck you want. Get really clear on what you want. Make the decision based upon the person that you desire to be, not the person that you are now, and make the decision fast. And when you are clear and when you have a detailed vision of what you want, making decisions becomes very, very easy. And then you can save yourself a lot of time, save yourself a lot of stress, save yourself a lot of anxiety by acting now and then thinking about it later.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. Head on over to the show notes at jenscalia.com/E100, where I always have amazing goodies and downloads and links for you to go even deeper and further with the teachings that I bring to you in these episodes. So in terms of today's episode, go out there and make a decision, get out of limbo, have a hard conversation, do something to move the energy around. I promise you, it really makes such a huge difference in terms of forward motion in your life, in your business, in your money, when you are not in limbo, when you're not questioning yourself in terms of a decision and you're just going forward. So I challenge you to go ahead and do that today so that you can feel more free and feel more confident in what you're doing and how you're approaching life and business. As always, make sure that you subscribe to this podcast so that you don't miss an episode. And also, don't forget to leave us a positive review on iTunes. This will help us reach more amazing entrepreneurs just like you who are committed to creating incredible change and transformation in the world. We'll see you back here next week for another quick bite episode to build your business from the inside out.
Let's keep this conversation going. Join us in the private discussion group Meant for Millions, where ambitious, driven online entrepreneurs go to get the mindset and strategy to grow and scale their online empires. Join Meant for Millions at jenscalia.com/tribe.